Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher, and this is day 6 of the Inktober Tangles for 2021. And today's pattern is, I'm really not sure if you call it BrrrSt or let me tell you, this is by Kelly Barone, CZT, and the story behind this is she was driving down a street and she could only remember that the street started with BR, but she saw a church window and she really liked the pattern. So she named it BRRRST for BrrrSt. So this is a grid pattern. As you can see down here, this is how the basic pattern looks. I did this one in 2 colors. And then if you watch her Facebook page, and her Facebook page and her website is called Whimsy by Kelly. She does videos almost every Saturday where she takes a pattern and she shows several different ways that you can do that same pattern. And so these are some of the different ways that she has done that pattern. So I will show you first how to do the basic pattern. And then I'm going to show you this one because I really like that. So just starting with a basic grid. Let's go like this. And I'm not going to fill all of these in, but okay. Let's zoom in. Fill this one up. Okay, so she does an arc from one corner to the other, like so. And I'm doing this one really big so that you can see how this works. Okay, and then I'm going to put an aura on the inside of each of these. And then I'm going to put a line across the center, and then another line next to that on each of these. Okay, so this one in the center there, and here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. So put my center line, and then another line in the middle there. And then same thing over here. Okay. And then she adds kind of like adding crescent moon on each one of these. You could fill this in solid if you wanted. Sorry, that's looking a little sloppy. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way so that the camera focuses on my art. instead of my hand. But it doesn't make for very straight lines. And like I said, I've made this kind of big. Okay. And I know I put 4 on that one and 3 on each of these. But you would just continue if you had this in a large grid or a smaller grid. Then you would just repeat. Come down this way, add your aura. And then just continue on like that. But like I said, that's the basic pattern there. And so I am going to try to remember how she did this one. This one in her video. Like I said, I think that's one of my favorite. Okay, so I have my tile here that is 4 inches by 4.5 inch. And I am going to just start with a basic grid using my graphite pencil. Okay. And then I had a knock at the door, and so I had to answer that, and I'm not sure what I said or didn't say, and I had to start over. So I'm using a Micron 01, my graphite pencil, and my blending stump. And so I'm going to start by adding these curves from one corner to the next. And I'm going to go ahead and add my aura while I'm here. If you're on Facebook, I would highly recommend looking up Kelly's site called Whimsy by Kelly. She has great ideas, and I really like watching her Saturday lives where she shows things like this. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is to the center, and lost my eraser. Okay, I'm going to straighten this center out just a little bit because I'm picky that way. Okay. Now, down this center, down to this point, I'm going to add kind of a petal shape. And then I'm going to add an aura inside of that. Okay, now the same thing down here on the bottom. and an aura inside. And then repeat on these other two sides. And Kelly does do this in her Saturday video where she showed the different variations of this. But I know not everyone is on Facebook. But she does also have a website called Whimsy by Kelly, and she offers classes. Okay, so we have that done. And now I'm going to put just a little petal here in the center. Between each of these petals. Okay. And now I'm going to start adding like the crescent moon. And this time I'm going to fill it in. Just this first one. And then I'm going to add 3 auras. Okay. And turn and do the same thing on this side. So if you happened to watch yesterday's video, which was IMA, I talked about a storm heading our way. Well, it turned into Hurricane Nicholas. Did not get any significant damage from that, so I'm very grateful. It blew right over the Houston area, and a lot of people still don't have power, but we did just fine. Because of my hurricane windows, they're so thick, I didn't even hear it. I slept through it. Just had a lot of leaves and limbs to pick up out of my yard from my trees. Okay, so now I'm going to take these lines and I'm going under. I'll make sure I'm on screen. Sorry. I'm going to go under this and bring it down. And then for each of these. Okay, same thing on this side. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to have those come under and into the center of this petal. So this one, these two would meet about right here. These two here. These two here. And they're not matching up exact, but that's okay. So here's one. And this might be even easier to do, a little bit bigger. This one I would not try to do in a small grid. Okay. I have not tried shading this one yet. The only one that I did was the one that's in my practice book. I think I'm going to add a little bit of shading along the outside here. And when you have a large amount of the area that you've colored in, like here, I don't generally put the graphite over that because it does kind of dull it. You can always go back over it later if you have to, but I just try to avoid it. And I'm going to put a little bit on the inside also. And then where these go under, add a little bit of shading there. You can see they don't exactly line up, but the shading might help hide that a little bit. Okay, I'm going to soften that with my blending stump. Do the inside here. Okay, I think on the insides of these petals right here, I'm going to add a little bit of hatching. And I pull the pin toward me. Tends to be the best way for me to do it. So that's why I'm doing the top of one and then going down to the other. Okay, I think I like that highlight. You know, you could even darken these in since it's going underneath. Lots of things that you could do. So if you wanted to do this in a larger pattern, then of course here you would start again with your, actually, not sure how this would do in a bigger grid. I'm going to leave it like that and add a little bit of graphite here. It wouldn't need much since I have the hatching in there. A little bit of graphite in these corners. Yeah, I've done her basic pattern without the little parts here. I've done that in a grid, but I haven't tried doing one of these in a grid. All right, so that is one of the ideas for what you can do with BrrrSt by Kelly Barone. And I'll show you again. There's the first one that I did. And there it is. A little bit of a variation with shading. And again, this is the basic pattern that she has here in a grid. But again, like I said, I did not put these auras there at the side. So try out her videos, and she has some great ideas for not only her own pattern, but other patterns that she shows many ideas of ways that you can do tangulations. I guess is the best way to put that. There we go. Day 6, BrrrSt by Kelly Barone. This looks kind of out of focus. Hopefully that'll help. And I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you'll try it. And I hope that you'll join me again. Tomorrow is Morrisseau by Cheryl Moot, and that is a fun one. If you've enjoyed this, I encourage you to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And as always, I would love if you buy me a cup of coffee. Every little bit helps to keep my channel going. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.